Hello everyone, this is Al-Karti again. Um, Welcome to my challenge. I do appreciate you, and I do appreciate your time and your encouragement. Thank you for that. Today our topic is going to be under the heading of a global issues. Today in particular I will be talking about the food or the food shortage, and that this topic is related to the hunger and poverty and malnutrition, and there is many people around the world are suffering from the food shortage, and that can cause or can lead to poor health. So this topic is very important. That's why we have to talk about it. Okay. Um, Today I will be talking about the following point. The first one, I will be talking about what the international community should do to overcome food shortage. So the international community has to do something to find solution for this problem, because there is many million of people around the world are suffering from hunger. Therefore, the United Nations and the other organization and other agencies, specialized agency, has to do something to overcome this problem. This is the first point. The second point that I'm going to talk to you about is about the hunger in number, which means I'm going to tell you the fact. I'm going to tell you the fact about the how many people are suffering from hunger, and which area in the world that most affected by the hunger. Okay, the third one is going to be about the Millennium Development Goal and food. So what the Millennium Development Goal will do to find solution for this problem. And the third one and the fourth one, I mean, is going to be about the fifth one is going to be about the Zero Hunger Challenge. This is program has been launched by the United Nations, and by the 2030 they try to overcome this problem. They don't want anyone suffer from hunger by 2030. And the last one, I'm going to outline some point or the what the World Food Program do, WFP, what they do to help people to come out of poverty. After that, there is resources for example, for more information of if somebody want to learn more and get some information, more information or further information about the food shortage in the world. I have placed some link there, so you can just go to that link and you will get more information. Okay, if you are ready, let's get started. Okay, what the international community should do to outcome food shortage. Okay, as we know that there is many people around the world, women and men, many men and many women across the globe, around the world, struggle to feed their children nutritious meals. Not just meals, maybe they eat, but they don't eat food that contain things that their body needed to stay healthy and active body. So therefore, this can cause unhealthy body, or can cause many diseases because of lack of good food or high quality of food for the children. So there is many. This is the fact. There is many people around the world, and that there is many children around the world go to bed with empty stomach. Okay, the other fact is that in a world where we produce enough food right now, we cannot tell that there is no enough food to feed everyone in the world. There is enough food, But the problem is that the balance, there is no good balance. There is no a equal balance. There is a lot of food in some area in the world, but there is nothing in the other world. For example, in Africa or sub-Sahara Africa, there is some country they don't have enough food to eat. But if we go to Europe or we go to North Africa, there is food, and the people are wasted a lot of food, and that food can feed many million people in the world. So there is figures here says 815 million people, which means 1 in 9 still go to bed on an empty stomach each night. That's just shocking. It shocked me when I learned about these figures. There is many people go to, because there is no food, especially in southern Asia or sub-Sahara Africa. There is many people, million, as I said here, 815 million people go to bed with an empty stomach. That is absolutely appalling. The other fact is that even more, 1 in 3 suffer from some form of malnutrition. Malnutrition, which means physical weakness and bad health caused by having too little food or too little of type of food necessary for good health. That's why they suffer from the malnutrition, because they don't have enough food to eat. The food that they eat are really little. Eradicating hunger, or to get rid of the hunger. This is the meaning of the eradicate, to get rid of something completely or destroy something bad. So this is the aim of international community, to get rid of hunger, and malnutrition is one of the greatest challenge of our time. Not only do the consequence of not enough, or there is wrong food cause suffering and poor health, they also slow progress in many other areas of the development, like education and employment. This is just basic. This is basic thing and just common thing. If there is no enough food to eat, you will suffer. You cannot go to school. How somebody can go to school hungry and sit in the class? He will always, or she will always think about food, because he's hungry. He cannot learn. So the priority is to feed them before you send them to school. And if he or she doesn't have enough food to eat, he will get sick, because this is the basic need for human being. Okay, let's continue about what the international community should do to outcome food shortage in the world. What it says here, this is the proposal of the United Nations. It says we need to produce at least 50% more food to feed 9 billion people by 2050. As I said, but maybe this is something to do with the United Nations Pact. Right now there is enough food, but right now by 2050, the United Nations suggested that the world need to produce at least 50% more food to feed 9 billion people by 2050. This is the fact. So this is, like some organization or the United Nations predict we have to produce more food. So we have to improve and develop our agriculture sector, and we have to we have to encourage people to grow crops, especially wheat and all this sort of grain. So this is very important too. So the international community has to come together and to help each other to outcome this problem. But there is challenge, which is the climate change could cut crop yield but more than 2050. Yield mean to make or provide something. So before we think even to produce more food, we have to deal with the what they call it climate change. And the Paris Agreement on climate change is the most important document that's been signed by many countries around the world. So not just sign and put the document in the office or something like that. We have to apply it. We have to meet the obligation of the Paris agreement on climate change 2015. We have to do that, and that cannot be done by one continent or the other or some countries. No, all the international community has to come together, and they have to show their obligation to outcome of the climate change. After that, we have to think about the to produce more food to feed 9 billion people around the world by 2050. The other fact that the land biodiversity, which means the number and the type of planet and animal that exists in a particular area in the world, in general, for example, in the ocean or something like that. We have to do something like that too. Unprecedented rate, unless we change how we grow our food and manage our natural capital, food security, especially for the world. So, which mean this biodiversity, the planet and animal is under risk, and therefore we have to do something about it. This is what I mean by biodiversity in ocean, forest, and others form of natural capital are being depleted, which means reduce, and decrease because of the climate change. The other fact, in 2015, the global community adopted the I have spoken about this one, I have mentioned it before, adopted the 17 global goals for sustainable development to improve people's lives by 2030. This is great. They try to overcome the hunger that people are suffering from around the world by 2030, and this is the goals number 17 in the goal of the millennium that I was talking about. So by 2030, they try to overcome they try to have sustainable development to improve people's lives by 2013. Goal 2, zero hunger. We don't want anyone. This is the international community or the leaders when they come together in 2015. They said we don't want anyone suffer from hunger wherever he is, wherever they are in around the world, Africa, Asia, South America, Caribbean, wherever they are. We don't want anyone suffer from hunger or pledge to end hunger. This is a strong promise or a strong a serious promise made by the international community leaders to outcome the hunger around the world. So what it says here, pledge to end hunger, achieve food security, improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture, and is the priority of the World Food Program. This is really a big project, and the international community work on it. There is a specialist agency like WFP, the United Nations, and the World Health Program, and all this kind of agencies, and they come together to outcome this problem. Okay, hunger. Okay, we'll move forward to the next slide about the hunger in number. Okay, as I said earlier, yes, I want to give you some figures. about the fact about food shortage, poverty, hunger around the world. It says here the latest available estimate indicate that about 795 million people in the world, just over 1 in 9, were undernourished, didn't have enough food to eat in 2014 and 16. That means 1 in 9 people do not get enough food to be healthy and lead an active life. Hunger and malnutrition are, in fact, the #1 risk to health worldwide, greater than AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis, which means TB combined together. This, to summarize this one here, it says here, which it means. It means that hunger killed many people, many people than AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis altogether combined. So hunger is really risky. It's very risk to health everywhere around the world. So hunger can cause more damage than AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis combined together. It's really shocking. That's why this is very important topic to talk to you about it. And the last fact here says some 795 million people in the world do not have enough food to lead to a healthy, active life. That about 1 in 9 people on earth. The vast majority of the world's hungry people live in developing countries, and I'm going to tell you about what they mean by developing country, that they live in hunger, where 12.9% of the population is undernourished. It's quite, it's shocking. And it says here, 795 million people in the world do not have enough food to eat. This is just repeat information because it's really think about it. People need to think about it, especially the people and all the leaders in Europe, in North America. They have to think about it, and they have to contribute more to outcome the problem of hunger. This says here, Asia is the continent with the most hungry people. 2/3 of the total. The percentage in Southern Asia has fallen in recent years, but in Western Asia it has increased slightly. So when we talk about Southern Asia, the countries that like Afghanistan, India, Bangladesh, Maldives, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Nepal, all these people in Southern Asia, they used to suffer from malnutrition, but they have made some improvement. But there's still people in the other part of Asia is still suffering from hunger. Southern Asia. But right now we're talking about Western Asia. It has increased slightly. So the situation there hasn't looks well. It's getting worse. It's getting worse and worse. The other area of the world that are suffering from hunger is Sub-Saharan Africa, in the region with the highest prevalence percentage of population of hunger. 1 person in 4 there is undernourished. When we talk about Sub-Saharan Africa, we talk about countries like Angola, Benin, Botswana, Burkina Faso, Chad, Comoros, Congo. This is the people. They are more than that, but this is just an example. Okay, poor nutrition causes nearly half, 45% of of death in children under 5. 3.1 million children each year. This is really shocking, and the international community has to do something. Think about this number: 3.1 million children each year, died because of lack of food. While there is many people, there is children are suffering from obesity and overweight. That's why I was talking about imbalance. 1 out of 6 children, roughly 1 million in developing countries, is underweight. 1 in 4 of the world children are stunt. Stunt, which means stop the normal development or growth or development in their childhood. This is what you mean by stunt. In developing countries, the proportion can rise to 1 in 3. So, and there is a suggestion here that says that the woman has to have access to resource as men to outcome or to reduce the people living in hunger by up to 150 million. So why? I think we do that in Africa, but I don't know about the other part of the world. Why they shouldn't allow a woman to access to the same resource as men? 66 million primary school age children attend class hungry across the developing world, with 23 million in Africa alone. I used to go to school hungry. I used to. Myself, I have experienced this sort of thing. I used to go to school hungry. World WFP calculate that 3.2 billion is needed per year to reach all 66 million hungry school age children. This is absolutely shocking. Okay, before I talk about the millenniums, the development goal and food, I have to give you these figures about the obesity and overweight around the world. It says here, this information comes from the WFP. I mean, in 2016 says more than 1.9 billion adults aged 18 years and older were overweight. Over 650 million adults were obese. Overall, about 13% of the world adult population, 11% of men, and 15% of women were obese in 2016. That's why I was talking about balance. There is no balance. If there is balance, these people shouldn't get hungry, because there is some people are overweight and there is some people are obese, whereas there is some people underweight and malnutrition. This is absolutely appalling. All right, let's talk about the Millennium Development Goal and food. Millenniums mean a period of 1,000 years. Okay, right now, there is some goals has been set up by the international community or by the United Nations. It says here by 2030, end hunger and ensures access by all people, in particular the people and the poor and people in vulnerable situations, including infant, to save nutritious and sufficient food to all years around. By 2030, end all form of malnutrition around the world. By 2025, the international agreed target on stunting, the underdevelopment and wasting in children under 5 years of age, and address the nutritional need for adolescents, girls, pregnant and women that they feed their children. This is going to happen by 2025. We hope that by 2030 there is some there is some achievement in agriculture sector productive. They're going to introduce the productive of the agriculture by 2030. We hope that is going to happen, because we have to outcome this problem. It has to. Okay, zero hunger challenge. One of the challenges, as I mentioned earlier, is climate change. Is one of the major challenge of our time, and adds considerable stress to our society and to the environment. The climate change affect the food production, rising sea levels that increase the risk of catastrophic flooding. The impact of climate change or global, are global in scope and unprecedented in scales. So the climate change is a problem, and it's real, and the international community has to deal with it. All right, the WFP, or the World Food Program, has put a lot of effort to outcome the hunger. They assisting like 80 million people in around the world, 80 countries each year. The World Food Program WFP is a leading humanitarian organization fighting hunger worldwide, delivering food assistance in emergency and working with community to improve nutrition and build resilience. One in any given day, every day, which means every day, WFP has 5,000 trucks, 20 ships, and 70 planes on the move, delivering food and others assistance to those in most needed. Every year, we distribute approximately 12.6 billion ration at the estimate average cost per ration 0.31 billion USA dollars. So this is the effort that we do appreciate the effort that it put by the WFP. Is absolutely a big effort, and the international community has to help them to do more and more. So we come to the end. Before I let you go, there is some resource here. So if you need some or further information, you can go to this link, and you can get more information about the food shortage in the world, about the figures and everything. Okay, then thank you so much for listening, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye for now.